Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Etihad Stadium, where Manchester City seem to be on a decline at the moment with 4 straight defeats. A fifth today will mean the most consecutive defeats in Pep Guardiola's entire career. Tottenham Hotspur, well, looking to put the dampener on a new 2-year agreement. And he is getting himself prepared for this game now as the teams are in the tunnel. Commentary today will be brought to you by JB. We'll be with you in just one moment. And right now the players are in the tunnel. We had Rodri being presented with his Ballon d'Or at the top of this show. Huge for him, and obviously one he fully deserves. And we're just going to bring in JB very, very shortly with the team news. And the players are coming out onto the field now. So for Tottenham Hotspur, well, it's been a pretty disappointing run of form lately. They've actually only won back-to-back in the league just once this season, giving an idea of how far Tottenham are struggling right now. Their recent results, of course, a defeat to 2-1 by Ipswich Town was followed up by a 4-1 victory over Aston Villa, 4-1 over West Ham, but defeats against Crystal Palace and Brighton were also on the list for Spurs. We've got JB with us now. Just take you through some of the team changes. Over to you, JB.
Right, thank you very much indeed. And you'll hear from Paul again at half time. Let's start with Manchester City very quickly with Ederson in goal. No Rodri, of course, because of injury, but he has picked up the Ballon d'Or award just a few moments ago. So Ederson in goal, Kyle Walker, who's captaining the side, John Stones, Emmanuel Kanji, Josko Guavio, then it's Rico Lewis, Ilkay Gundogan, Savinho, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, and the top scorer this season, Erling Haaland, with 12 goals this season. The Spurs are lying 11th with only 16 points, and the pressure really on Ange Postecoglou. They line up as follows. Guillermo Vicario is in goal, then it's Pedro Porro, Radu Jackson, Ben Davies, and Destiny Ndogi at the back, and then it's Bissouma, Pape Sarr, Dejan Kulusevski, James Maddison, Son Heung-min, the new Spurs captain, and Dominic Solanke up front. The referee tonight, John Brooks, from the land of the pork pie, no less, Melton Mowbray. 2 assistants are Simon Bennett and Dan Relbathan, and Craig Paulson is our 4th official, and VAR, if required, is Michael Salisbury, as the Manchester City team paid tribute to Rodri for his recent Ballon d'Or success and ending the obvious domination of Messi and Ronaldo of that particular award. And Pep Guardiola gives him a hug and a handshake as well. But no pressure on Guardiola, because he's just signed a new 1-year extension at the Etihad. But the pressure really on Ange Postecoglou, really. Tottenham should be nowhere near the position they are in the table when you look at their squad. But look at that, there is togetherness there between the squad and the supporters, who have made their way down here, up north here to the Etihad tonight. Just to remind you of all the other scores taking place. There will be some other games going on, I would have thought. Some games still to be finished off in Scotland, of course. We'll keep you updated with those. Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2. These are earlier games. AFC Bournemouth 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2. Everton 0, 10-man Brentford 0. That's a coupon buster. Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. And now it's the big one. Manchester City and Tottenham. Tottenham in the white and dark blue. Get us away, attacking the goal to my left. City in their traditional sky blue, attacking the goal to my right. So it's Ben Davies on the ball straight away for Spurs. City, who have lost their last 4 competitive games. In fact, San Marino have won more games in November, would you believe? And already a yellow card from referee John Brooks. Again, this is a bit like last night. I think that's a bit excessive to book somebody within the first 30 seconds. Let's have a look. Bearing in mind the conditions, it's a free kick, it's a foul, it's a first offence. I think Masuma is very unlucky to have his name taken there. Third yellow card, but I think that's just a little bit harsh. But what it does do is give Manchester City a chance right at the start. I'll run through the substitutes as soon as I get a break in play. Quite a lot of youngsters that are being utilised, and there is Kevin De Bruyne to come off the bench as well. So, and Jack Grealish as well. So City have got possibly a much stronger bench than possibly what Tottenham have. Foden and Gundogan, the two men committee, as that ball is spreaded in there towards the back post, and the ball is attacked by Akanji at the far post, but it's wide of the target. It was Gundogan's free kick, and Akanji attacked it, but attacked it the wrong side of the post. Just to remind you of what's happening in Scotland, these are some of the games. 2 games kicked off at 4 o'clock. Rangers against Dundee United and St Mirren against Aberdeen. Latest scores we have from those games as Macario hits it away for Spurs. But it's just, now the ball's out of play for a goal kick. The latest we've got from that game is Rangers 1, Dundee United 1. Tierney equalised for Rangers after Dolby had put Dundee United ahead. And St Mirren 1, Dundee United, and St Mirren 1, Aberdeen 1. Aberdeen going very well at the moment in the Scottish Premiership. Olasuna had put St Mirren ahead. Then McGrath equalised for Aberdeen on 50 minutes. And with 15 minutes to go, Aberdeen pushing for a winning goal. So it's 1-1. 1-1 in those Scottish games. In the Premier League, it's Manchester City coming forward with 2.5 minutes played. Haaland leaps like a salmon at the far post to get on the end of that left-hand side cross. City still have it with Bernardo Silva trying to cross it up on the left-hand side. It was originally a cross from Sabinho in the first instance that had Haaland having to stretch like a salmon to get anywhere near. Just to remind you, latest goings on in the Players' Championship darts. Luke Littler through. Luke Humphries are through. Luke Humphries has gone through as well. Two of the players left in it, big names left in it. They go through to tonight's 3rd round. And if they both get through there, they'll be into the final day of competitive darts there at Minehead. I'll keep you abreast with all the other sport that's going on tonight. And of course, I'll run through all the latest scores around the world as well for you throughout the game. But just to remind you, Rangers and Dundee United are 1-1 with a quarter of an hour left. Same scoreline with St Mirren and Aberdeen. Both of those games, incidentally, kicked off at 4 o'clock this afternoon. On a day really up in Scotland where it's suited Celtic's needs at the moment. Brendan Rodgers will be licking his lips knowing that they play tomorrow. Meanwhile, down here in England on Manchester, it's a good break here. And Haaland is free. The Spurs defence was left lopsided, and somehow Haaland has put that wide of the right-hand post. When it looked for all the while that he was going to make it 1-0 here. It was a lovely break again from Manchester City. Spurs had just gone lopsided towards the left-hand side. But then for some peculiar reason, Haaland tried to cut back inside onto his left foot. In fact, it's what a corner actually, but even so, he should have just took it on his right foot and just clouted the thing. But anyway, Manchester City have got a corner. And it's going to be Phil Foden on the near side to take it. Foden into the penalty area. Goalkeeper under a little pressure, gets a good fist on it, and then Maddison just to the left of the penalty spot clears, but only as far as Bernardo Silva is on the left-hand side. Crosses it into the penalty area, and then Pedro Porro just sort of come through, kicks the ball away. City, as you'd expect in this opening 5 minutes, taking the game to Ange Postecoglou's men. Looking to try and end a run of 4 defeats in all competitions. A defeat to Spurs earlier on in the year in the Carabao Cup competition. They lost 2-1 that night at the Etihad at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Cross comes in, it's turned away for a corner. And I think it's showing to everyone here in the Etihad that Manchester City are not in any mood to mess about tonight. They look in the mood. And Tottenham, I've just seen a statistic there, 20 goals already in the last 2 seasons conceded from set plays. And I'm sure Pep Guardiola, the astute manager that he is, will have been looking at that and drilling his boys. Let's get plenty of high balls into that penalty area because they can't mark for toffee. That's what he would have said. But Spurs have defended that one very stoutly indeed. And then Foden just calmly gets it back to Ederson, who has been very underemployed in the first 6 minutes. You're listening to this match live on the TC Hub, Focus on Football, and you're listening to it also on Storm FM. Those 3 frequencies are picking up the game, our TC Hub partners for tonight's match. If you want to listen to Championship football from now on in, TC Hub 2 and JB Sports are the channels you need to watch out for. Premier League, TC Hub, Focus on Football, and Storm FM are your channels. 0-0 here, Manchester City in possession. And Gundogan plays a lovely ball in there. Walker trying to get in there at the back post to try to hook the ball across. I don't think he was going to shoot because the angle was possibly too acute. And in the end, well, that might have been touch and go, whether it was offside. If that had been a goal for Manchester City, I think Michael Salisbury at Stockley Park might have wanted to have a second look at that. A lot of pressure on the PGMOL after the stuff that's been going on in the last sort of week or two with what's been going on with David Cute. We won't go too far into the depths of the David Cute affair, but the PGMOL as a collective organisation need to have a good weekend to try and restore a bit of trust and faith in this in their paternity, in the refereeing paternity, because the PGMOL haven't had a good 2 weeks. But without going into any details, you know full well what's happening with David Coote, ladies and gents. So far be it from me to start mentioning things, what might happen and what might happen with David Coote. That's up to the authorities to conclude the investigations. But it's a big night for John Brooks, the referee. If he has a good game, then I think the PGMOL's reputation will be restored a little bit more in the right sort of way. So a lot of responsibility on John Brooks' shoulders and Michael Salisbury's to a certain extent. Manchester City have possession deep inside Tottenham's half. Gundogan, lovely ball over the top looking for Foden. Ben Davies was on the scene, tried to cut the ball out, and he did so terrifically well. And then there's a foul there, I think, on one of the Tottenham players on the far side. It was Kulusevski who went down, and Mr. Brooks says free kick to Tottenham. Just to let you be aware of the latest scores then. Still 1-1 in the games between Rangers and Dundee United and St Mirren and Aberdeen. Millwall Sunderland has been suspended. Well, it has been suspended, but we don't know whether that will take place now. I don't know whether that will get finished or not, but that's been suspended. Blackburn Rovers against Portsmouth was a victim of Storm Burt, so they didn't play. Burnley won at Bristol City. Sheffield United had to make do with a point against Coventry City, nearly lost it towards the end that game. Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff played out a 1-1 draw. Here's Son Heung-min for Tottenham, played in there, and it was Kulusevski who just needed to touch it inside the 6-yard area, and Tottenham, against the run of the play admittedly, would have been ahead there. But it's Manchester City in possession, and Bernardo Silva, and it's been played at a leisurely pace from Manchester City at the moment, the possession. Here's Rico Lewis. 10th start this season for the young 20-year-old. He looks a real prospect. That's a free kick to Manchester City. Fouled by Basuma, who has to watch his step, of course. He's been yellow carded. To the dismay of Ange Postecoglou down on the bench. No nonsense, tough, hard as old boots Australian. Has won titles in Australia and in Scotland with Celtic. But despite in the last couple of seasons, he's found the Premier League more of a tough nut to crack. Remember, Liverpool and Manchester United play their matches tomorrow. Liverpool play their game tomorrow. Liverpool have down at Southampton, and Manchester United will be entertained by Ipswich Town at Portman Road. They're the two games tomorrow. Meanwhile, Harley with a shot turned away brilliantly there by Vicario. The ball still in play. It was laid out. It was a good ball down the left-hand channel that shred him. And again, you don't leave Erling Haaland unmarked. 12 goals to his credit this season. He nearly made it 13 there. Lovely build-up down the left-hand channel. Good ball in there. Haaland took it first time on his left foot. And Vicario did well. Sabinho laid him in. Oh, that's a good save with his right foot by Vicario. Well, Haaland has now missed at least 2 gilt-edged chances now for Manchester City. And we've only been playing in almost 11 and a half minutes here on the TCM. Sense of team goals this season, 55% compared to 2020, 22, 23, 38%, and last season, 28%. It's amazing what TV statisticians can come up with these days. You have to be, if you want to keep up to date with the stats, then, well, TV's your best bet. Radio isn't. If you just want a good, no-nonsense commentary, this is the place to be. Ben Davis now, and Destiny Ndogi, number 13. You're listening to the TCL with me, JB, John Stutter. Paul James is your host this evening. I'll be handing back to him at half-time, of course. And here's Kulusevski down the right-hand channel for Tottenham, who are attacking the goal to my left. Kulusevski with a cross in there. Maddison! Maddison has scored for Tottenham! Would you believe this? We've got a shock on here in the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City for 12 minutes tonight have been doing all the attacking, and Tottenham go on a good break. Kulusevski chased the lost cause down the right-hand side. He put in a wonderful cross, and James Maddison came flying in from nowhere and has tapped the ball past Edison. And there's a deafening hush around the Etihad Stadium by 2,000 Spurs supporters who are in absolute ecstasy. It's Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1, and this goal, make no mistake, has come truly against the run of the play. Edison badly exposed, but the Kulusevski cross, this is penetrating. And no way in the world could the likes of John Stones cut that ball out. It was just too good. And what a good controlled left-footed volley. And Ange Postecoglou, no emotion, just a fist in the air. And Tottenham Hotspur, against all the odds and against the run of the play, it has to be said, are 1-0 ahead. A real turn-up for the Bucks job at the moment. 12 minutes and 30 seconds ago it was timed at. And the shock is on. For now anyway. Still a long way to go, mind you, but maybe that might just bring Manchester City back to life. As things stand, they are about to lose 5 competitive matches in League, Champions League and League Cup on the bounce. But as I said, there's still a long, long way to go. And if you're commenting tonight, let me know in your comments below what you're thinking about this game, listening to the commentary. We'd like to hear from you. Keep it clean, of course. We're a family programme. Now, Kyle Walker down the right-hand side does well to keep that crossfield ball in play. Deep inside Tottenham territory. Foden wins it back, but then loses it in turn. Now Son Heung-min. Oh, he just almost, he was a bit careless there, but he got lucky. And he's able to, if Ndogi gets his head up, he's looking for Kulusevski. Although I thought Son would have been better placed to just use the overlap there, because Son was making a good burst down that near side as well. He's no slouch, Son Heung-min, the Tottenham captain, taking over the armband when Harry Kane left for Tottenham. And Harry Kane in good form at the moment for Bayern Munich as they breezed Hotspur aside yesterday with a hat-trick. Oh, and Foden inside the area. smashes one over, and I make that 4, maybe 3, maybe 4 presentable opportunities that Manchester City have had in the game and have failed to take them. 2 definitely for Erling Haaland, and this one for Foden. Maybe just leant back as he struck it with his right foot. But even so, when you're in that position and you're in a blue shirt of Manchester City, you have to be taking those chances. Here's Gundogan now. Oh, just over it, the pass. Wasn't going to reach Rico Lewis, who was about 10 yards to his right. Here's Maddison, the goal scorer. And what a controlled left-footed volley it was into the net to give Manchester City headaches here. Basuma, remember, he's on a yellow card. The only player out of the 22 starters that were booked right at the start. Maddison, good ball. Well taken out. Oh, little slip there by Dominic Solanke. We've not spoken about him too much. Now then, Son Heung-min on the left-hand side. We'll have a go at Kyle Walker. Oh, and a lovely cross. And Kulusevski just needed to have a little bit more pace about him. Mind you, he's changed a lost cause against Savinho here. Spurs having a bit of joy in the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes. Ahead and making some good breaks. Destiny Udogie. Son Heung-min, left-hand side. Back inside to Maddison, whose goal separates these 2 great English football names. The big game of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt, here at the Etihad Stadium. We'll run you through the other scores as soon as we get them, because at the moment you can't take your eyes off this fixture. As Maddison comes in, we'll check as well on the latest score in the rugby union between England and Japan at Twickenham. In fact, we can do that right now, in fact. In fact, they're not playing today, but I can tell you that Ireland beat Fiji 52-17, and at the Principality Stadium or the Millennium Stadium, it's Wales 0, South Africa 7. Italy and New Zealand kick off at 10 minutes past 8 this evening. England actually kick off their match tomorrow afternoon at 10 past 4. Here's Son Heung-min trying to curl one, and curls what he does towards the top right-hand corner from the left-hand side. And Ederson had to stretch all his 6 foot plus to get that behind for a Tottenham Hotspur corner, but that could have easily been 2-0 to Tottenham. And Son Heung-min, we know he's capable of all this, the Tottenham captain. He's a real player for the ages. And he almost did that. Maddison scoring, just to remind you of the goal scoring front. Maddison has scored his 4th goal, incidentally, of the season. And Son Heung-min should have had his 4th as well. But for a wonder save from Ederson. Corner to Tottenham far side. 18 and a half minutes almost played. And Spurs going for the second. Ederson in all sorts of trouble. But the ball's gone behind for a goal kick, which will relieve to the relief of Pep Guardiola. Well, he signed that new 1-year contract, didn't he, the other day? He's got a job on here tonight, that's for sure. It's been Manchester City's worst injury crisis for years. They do have Jack Grealish on the bench. They do have Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. No Ederson, of course, no Rodri for the season, of course. At the moment, the only cheer that the Man City fans have had is Rodri picking up the Ballon d'Or. Here's Son Heung-min now, he's out of the penalty area. And Maddison through again! Maddison has scored again! It's 2-0 to Tottenham! This is a coupon buster, if ever there was one. It's James Maddison and the double. It's his 5th of the season. And Tottenham, after just less than 20 minutes here at the Etihad Stadium, have gone 2 goals clear. And his City's Premier League title grip being loosened that more and more and more, I wonder. As things stand, it will be 5 defeats in all competitions on the bounce unless Manchester City from somewhere or other come back from the dead. At the moment, they look bereft of any ideas, giving them all away so cheaply. They play to 1-2 here, Maddison with Son Heung-min, edge of the area, good reverse ball, good side roll pass, and again with the left foot, chips the on-rushing Ederson when his left foot goes into the net. And Manchester City are in big trouble with 20 minutes gone here at the Etihad. It's Manchester City 0, it's Tottenham Hotspur 2. And Manchester City are making mistake after mistake at the back. It was so easy for Maddison. They had a bright 10 minutes, Manchester City, but you cannot argue that the last 10 minutes, Tottenham Hotspur have absolutely took over. If the first 10 minutes were Manchester City's, the last 10 minutes have certainly been Tottenham Hotspur's. They've took their chances. Man City have had 3 presentable opportunities, 2 of them to Erling Haaland. They missed them. Spurs have had 2, maybe 3 goal-edge chances. They've took 2 of them. That's the difference. And just to remind you, without Rodri, Manchester City struggle. But there's still a long way to go. We're not even at the halfway stage of the first half yet, but the shock is there. All Tottenham have to do is be quiet in defence. And if they get to half-time with a 2-goal lead, well, it'll be an interesting second half, folks. But 2-0, and here's Kyle Walker. Well, how many of you predicted that at this stage of the game, Tottenham Hotspur will be 2 goals clear? I certainly didn't think it would be the case. Meanwhile, here's Haaland in the other end. Oh, he's missed a sitter from 6 yards. Maybe a bit more than that. He just throws a divot down in disgust. Well, earlier on in the season, he would have been taking those for breakfast, dinner and tea. Tonight, he's had 3 big chances and he hasn't taken any of them. The service is there, his finishing isn't so. But then again, maybe Erling Haaland is just a human. Maybe we've all been building him up as some robotic striker. Who knows? But oh, you'd have expected him there, even under pressure, to have scored, or to at least hit the target. Make the goalkeeper at least work for his coin. Well, this has been an extraordinary game in the Premier League. We had a big coupon buster earlier on at Craven Cottage when Wolves went round and scored 4 against Fulham in a 4-1 win. I think Manchester City, I think Tottenham Hotspur are about to trump that. And that's given away. The free kick was wasteful from Tottenham, but it didn't come to much because Missouma just comes in there and does really well. And here's Destiny and Doggy. This has been a perfect away performance from Tottenham Hotspur so far. Well, I said at the start, at the top of the show, that Ange Postecoglou was under the most pressure. Guardiola, with all his trophies, had plenty of credit in the bank and a 1-year extra extension to his contract. Well, there was a lot for Ange Postecoglou to consider tonight before tonight's game. I tell you what, if he dreamt this up, he couldn't have dreamt it any better. Here's Son Heung-min. Spurs looking for a third, and Son Heung-min's cross. Oh, he almost led to a third because Solanke was there. And if the Manchester City defence hadn't got any positive touch on the wall to knock it out for a corner, then it would have been 3. In fact, it's a 2-year deal, I'm being told. Akanji got back and knocked it behind for a corner. It is a 2-year deal, I'm being told. Well, I've heard rumours that it was a 1-year with an option of a 2, of a second year. But anyway, it's 2 years anyway, so I trust Paul James on that one. I've worked with him for a long time, so I know he's never in the wrong. Right, Maddison with the corner. He's had a good day. 2 goals. How about an assist? A long corner. Ederson comes, gets a decisive punch this time for a crowd of players. Well, what does Guardiola do now? Here comes the cross. Erling Haaland doing a bit of defending as well. That's a novelty in itself. Can you tell Manchester City are in dire straits when Erling Haaland at 2-0 down is doing defending? This is not a good Manchester City performance by any stretch of the imagination. And Spurs, if they get another one, well, if they get a third, I think I'll boldly say it could be game over. At 2-0 down, City still have a chance. and it's only because they've got plenty of time on their side. We've only been in motion for about 25 minutes. So anything can happen. Lewis in possession, finds Gundogan, who has to turn away from 3 Spurs defenders and finds Manuel Akanji. Now Guardiola. They need something here, Manchester City. They need a goal before half-time to make a real game of this. The Spurs on the counter-attack have been absolutely first class. Good ball in there from Walker, looking towards Howard, who can't take it down well. And Spurs hook it clear. Well, Howard's had 3 good opportunities. 1, he worked the goalkeeper, and 2, he's blazed over the bar. And Phil Foden had a guilty chance, which he also blazed over the bar. Guardiola now for Manchester City, left-hand side, played in there to Foden. Foden inside the area, Foden shoots, but he shoots wide. That was more of a profitable half chance for Manchester City. Phil Foden. A Manchester City lad through and through. Just couldn't stab it goalwards. It's going to be one of those nights, I think, for Manchester City. As Maddison and Davis trying to play out for the back here as Man City trying to close them down. Well, 2-0 down. Manchester City need to be playing with a bit more urgency than they already have. Destiny and Doggy. That's a good ball. And Manchester City are so lopsided. It's 3 against 4 now in Tottenham's favour. It's 4 against 4 now. And here's Kulusevski. Into the penalty area he goes. Kulusevski, 4 against 4. Pull back. He just couldn't find Son. And in the end, it's hooked away by Manchester City. Out of play. 10 yards. It's not out. Yes, it is out of play. Just inside the Tottenham half, about 10 yards inside the Tottenham half on the far side. But it was 4 against 4. And it just needed to be a bit further back. And Son might have had a glaring opportunity to make it 3-0 to Tottenham. As it is, it's still 2-0. Vicario in possession. Clean sheet intact for him so far. Basuna back to Vicario. I thought he might play it long, but uses Ben Davies instead. Here's Maddison. And here's Son. This is good football from Spurs. They love to counter-attack. Look at the break being made on the far side. And in goes Solanke. Inside the area. Solanke should have made it 3. He should have made it 3, Dominic Solanke. Right-footed, over the top. I think Edison got a glove on that. It will be a Tottenham corner. Paul has made a comment that I'll tell you about in a minute. This should have been 3 here. But for a decent save from Edison. But Spurs, every time they come forward, look a threat. Playing like a team that should not be anywhere near 11th in the table. They will go into the top 10 with a victory. And it will ease the pressure on Ange Postecoglou. Spurs without a trophy since 2008, remember. Still in the League Cup, incidentally. I mean, knocked Manchester City out just a couple of weeks ago. And at the moment, they're playing some really good cavaliering attacking football. Here's Son Heung-min. It's so atypical of Manchester City to be missing those chances. It is. But then again, well, we expect them to take them every other week. So, especially here at the Etihad. Anyway, here's Son Heung-min. 29 minutes played on the TC Hub, Focus on Football and Storm FM. That's a poor ball from Undogi. Now this could lead to a chance here for Manchester City. Haaland's making a good break. This is Erling Haaland. It's behind him. That final ball as well has been an Achilles heel for Manchester City so far. And now Vicario now in possession. No, I thought he was going to put his foot through it. No, he uses Ben Davies instead. Davies gets it forwards. And Solanke trying to win the 3 kick and does off Rico Lewis on the near side. Lewis is not at all happy with the linesman on the near side, which of course is Dan Robathan. We've had drama here, and you know what? I don't want to tempt fate, but I'm going to say it. We haven't had any VAR stuff to talk about. Bit refreshing, really. Guardiola playing it in there, and a chance there, and another good save. I don't believe that. Savinio this time, the latest one, to be foiled by Vicario. City have made enough chances to score 6, maybe 7 goals tonight. I honestly think that, it was offside actually. In fact, Savinio and Haaland were both offside. So, good call from Dan Ralph Bayford on the near side. That was a good decision from the linesman. Paul says, "Oh God, you've now got to do it. We're going to get some odd VAR calls now." No, I'm just trying to convey to our listeners, Paul, that we haven't needed it up until now. Anyway, here's Gundogan. Back in his second spell here at Manchester City, the former Borussia Dortmund player, of course. It's I didn't expect to be commentating on a game where Tottenham Hotspur, being the underdogs tonight, we're going to be 2-0 up. I mean, they are indeed. And you have to say, good value for it. Albeit against the run of the play, but in this game, you have to take your chances. City have had 6, missed them all. Tottenham had 2 or 3, and have taken 2 of them. James Maddison's got them both. 4th and 5th goals of the season. Now then, Kyle Walker, the captain. Space on the right-hand side of the Spurs penalty area. Uses Lewis. In turn, uses Walker. Again, right-hand side of the penalty area, just outside of it. But Dog is sticking close to him like super glue here. And bringing him down, in fact. So, 3 kick to Manchester City. 32 minutes almost played. John Brooks from Melton Mowbray has had a good first half so far. Done really well. And one of the features I've enjoyed about the refereeing of John Brooks up until this point is giving the game every conceivable chance to flow, which can't be bad for the game as a spectacle and for the neutral. So 32 and a quarter minutes played. Manchester City have a free kick. Phil Foden's going to take it right-footed. Foden, right-footed, into the area, evades everybody, and Akanji got in at the far post as well and couldn't reach it. Savinio 2, and a goal kick. Well, Pep Guardiola looks like the milk tray man on the near side, isn't he? At the moment, they need a comeback of Cadbury's milk tray proportions to get 3 points here tonight against the Tottenham side, who have just dug in and have just been lightning fast on the counter-attack. Other boxes of chocolates are available. Anyway, 2-0 to Tottenham, and good value for it. They've done really well. City have been a disgrace at the back. I don't think there's much doubt about that. They've contributed to their own downfall, missed chances, and then slight marking. They've allowed Maddison to get in beyond their defence and score twice. Meanwhile, elsewhere we've got a couple of results from the Scottish Premiership to bring you. Rangers 1, Dundee United 1, and this is good news for Celtic. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 1, a very late goal, in fact, from Taylor after 83 minutes, condemning Aberdeen to their first defeat of the season. So a great result for St Mirren up in Paisley, Scotland. In the Championship, Burnley 1 at Bristol City, Coventry 2, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 1, Blackburn Rovers, Portsmouth. That was a match postponed. Let's just cut back a minute because City are attacking with Savinio. Left-hand side inside the penalty area. City can't afford to be too exhibition with their play now. They've got to be no nonsense. They're 2-0 down with just over 10 minutes to play in the first half. They need to pump that ball into the box. Try and see if they can get Erling Haaland into the game a bit more. But he's not been in the game. He needs a good bit of service. And City might be in for one here, but not at the moment. Here's Kulusevski on the counter-attack. 1 against 3. Always going to be liable to run out of pitch. And Milano has just kicked out at Kulusevski. And John Brooks needs to get a lid on this situation. He just says, sorry, I think probably I saw it a bit maybe I reacted a little bit permanently there, but from my glance, I thought Kulisevsky has been kicked out at that, but maybe the referee saw it a little bit differently. Maybe it was just a bit of a miscommunication or a misunderstanding. In any case, no complaints, and we carry on with no fuss. City in complete disarray, but they do have a free kick 10 yards inside the Tottenham half. Lewis gets on with it, but not from the correct position, but referee allows it. Guardiola needs a good cross. No, he goes back inside again. Gundogan. They're looking to him for the ammunition here. Lewis. Halfway inside the Tottenham half. Spurs with about 7 back. And now, and Haaland can't get it out of his feet. Shot comes in, and it's saved by Vicario to deny Semedo with a left-footed try from around about, 25 yards. It would have been a super goal if he pulled this one off Semedo. But Vicario just had to dive a shade to his right and took the ball with both hands, no problem. Luton have beaten Hull City 1-0. Millwall against Sunderland, that's a match suspended. Not sure what the outcome of that one's going to be. Oxford 2, Middlesbrough 6, that's the result of the day in the Championship, without a shadow of a doubt. Oxford unbeaten at home at the Catham. Being taught a footballing lesson by Michael Carrick's boys. Preston 1, Derby 1. QPR 1, Stoke 1, and West Brom 2, Norwich City 2 in League 1. Bolton 2, Blackpool 1. Shrewsbury beat Birmingham 3-2 in a big game there. Stevenage 0, Leyton Orient 0. Barnsley 0, Wigan 1. Burton 0, Stockport 3. Crawley 1, Rotherham 0. Huddersfield 2, Charlton 1. Lincoln 2, Wigan Wanderers 3. Ball come over, that should be... Oh, it's not going to be Vicario's, it is Vicario's. And Vicario's hurt himself. Looked like Semedo. Semedo had every right to win that ball, incidentally. And just collided in there. It was purely accidental. It wasn't a good header back by Porro. Not one of his better days. But the goalkeeper and the attacker had every right, and Savinio had every right to challenge Vicario. Maybe Vicario made a little bit more of it than it needed to be. Whilst that's going on, when we finish the other scores, Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Northampton, Cambridge 0-0, Peterborough 1, Reading 2, Wrexham 3, Exeter 0, League 2, Grimsby 0, Colchester 1, Notts County, Newport 0-0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Walsall 1, Bradford City Accrington postponed, Carlisle 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Chesterfield 1, Barrow 0, Fleetwood Milton MK Dons, that's a match postponed. Also, Gillingham 1, Harrogate 2, good result for Harrogate that. On a good run at the moment in League and FA Cup. And Salford, Bromley, that's a match postponed. And Morecambe, who were the bottom side at the start of play, have gone to the county ground Swindon and have won by 3-2. Earlier today, Premier League results. Leicester 1, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0, Villa 2, Palace 2, Everton 0, Brentford 0. Brentford were down to 10 men for that game. Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. And at the moment in our match, we're coming up to 39 minutes played. It's 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad against Manchester City. I'll tell you what, if you're going to watch Match of the Day tonight, you're in for a real treat. And Vicario's holding his leg. I wonder if that was the initial injury he sustained in that incident with Savinio. They do have Fraser Forster on the bench as a backup goalkeeper here. This could be a huge problem for Tottenham here going forward. This is the first goal here. What a lovely cross this is from Kulisevsky. And what a control volley that is. You don't appreciate the skill it is to take a control volley like that. You don't appreciate the skill with your left foot to dink it over a goalkeeper as well. It looks an easy finish on television. But let me tell you, it's made to look easy, but it certainly isn't. Spurs are having a bit of a break at the moment, which is why nothing is happening right now. South Africa in the rugby are now 19 points ahead. Wales 0, South Africa 19. Andy Murray, we believe, is going to coach Novak Djokovic at the Australian Open early next year. And in the snooker, Barry Hawkins has defeated Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's won the UK Championship 8 times this year, losing 6 frames to 4. So, all sorts of stuff going on there. And of course, Luke Humphries and Luke Littler through in the darts. Darts restarts again at 7 o'clock in Minehead. Goalkeeper still on the field, Vicario. Ange Postecoglou may have a big decision to make here. Does he stick with Vicario until half time? There's only 4 minutes of it to go, incidentally, plus any additional time. But my feeling is Fraser Forster may have to come on. And here's Kulusevski breaking inside the area for Tottenham. And the shot in from Basuma, which is just too high. It was a bit of a speculative attempt with the right foot, which went just too high. But having said that, it was a fantastic effort. And, well, that could have been a colossal problem for Manchester City if they'd gone 3-0 down. Oh, the goalkeeper took a risk and got away with it there. As it just about got it clear. Good defending again from Ben Davies. Play on, says the referee. There was a foul by Foden, but it's turned in possession. And Son is in the area. Son, oh, he just got crowded out by 3 Man City defenders. Should have took it left-footed first time. Tried to go across the goal towards the goalkeeper's right-hand side, or towards the right-hand goal, side of goal. But here's Savinio. He's got Haaland up ahead, through the middle. Haaland trying to stay outside it, but he breaks to Foden. The shot was charged out. Foden chips it towards the far side. Guardiola. He is a good cross here. Ball played back, deflects around the area, almost pinball machine stuff. Here's Kyle Walker, the captain, whose side find themselves 2 goals down. Guardiola again. Bernardo Silva, first time cross. It finds Haaland, who heads it back across goal. Davis wins it against Foden. Foden goes down, no foul, definitely not a foul. Play on we go, and here's Gundogan to John Stones, who's sorting forward. We saw the last 3 minutes of normal time at the end of the first half at the Etihad. Here's the ball in from Foden. It was Bernardo Silva's left-hand side cross, and Foden tried to volley it. Just couldn't get it. Just got too far underneath it. I think he was trying to bicycle kick it. It would have took a lot to score from there. And Phil Foden knows that. Bangs his hand on the hand on the ground in frustration. Here's Destiny and Doggy. Destiny for Tottenham Hotspur. Here he goes. He may have a run down the left-hand side. He's urging Son to get down there, and he's just about found him. Son was just on his wavelength as well. We've got a real shock on here at the Etihad Stadium. Everyone was saying with Pep Guardiola signing this new deal that Manchester City were still favourites for the Championship. I'm not so sure now, looking at the way they've been playing tonight, but you never know. You don't write them off until the very last whistle. As the defender does really well there for Spurs, which is Dragzu in. So we're playing now 44 minutes. We've got 1 minute of normal time. Then we'll get the board up from Craig Pawson, who's our 4th official tonight. At the moment, in the Scottish Premiership, it's all happened here. Nicky Cannon has put Aberdeen ahead on 2 minutes, but Obita has been sent off. He was the man who made the goal for Nicky Cannon. Meanwhile, it's 1-0 here, 2-0 here in the big one here, and it's out for a goal kick. When Takanji heads it over the bar. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Penny for Pep Guardiola's thoughts right now. As I say, it looks like the milk tray man in that polo neck. As I said, they're going to have to pull off a comeback of milk tray proportions. Well, Spurs give it to him. But they're not going to give up a 2-goal lead. Not with Ange Postecoglou in charge. He's a tough, no-nonsense Aussies. But I know what a lot of Tottenham fans here. 37 points since the start of last season that Manchester City have accumulated from losing positions. So even at 2-0, don't lose heart, Manchester City fans. Here's Destiny and Doggy. But it's Son Heung-min. There's going to be 300 minutes at the end of the first half. Fair enough. Here's Kulusevski. A third Spurs goal would really put the cannonbox to fringes here, if it hasn't already. Kulusevski keeps possession. Let's hit off John Stones. It will be a throw into Tottenham Hotspur just by the near corner quadrant. Tottenham's task really, Tottenham's mission for the next 3 minutes is simple. Don't concede a goal. And all will be well going into the half-time interval. Paul James will take you through the half-time show. And I'll be back well in time for the second half. So 3-0, 2-0 rather the score. Hibs winning in the Scottish Premiership at the moment against Dundee at Dens Park. Nicky Cannon with the goal there. But it's a James Maddison brace that's deciding things for Tottenham at the moment. And Tottenham get a decision from referee John Brooks to the dismay of Kyle Walker. The champions in trouble. Won the last 4 Premier League titles. Looking to do what any other team hasn't done in Premier League history, win 5 on the bounce. As we now go into the third of these 3 minutes. Maddison and Son goes short. Maddison, of course, on a hat-trick. As Destiny and Doggy takes possession. Ball comes back to Vicario. About 50 seconds of stoppage time to play. Minimum of, I should stress, that's surely offside. It is against Kulusevski. That was three Spurs players beyond the last defender. And the linesman there, Simon Bennett, was quite right to put his flag up. Definite offside. Free kick to Manchester City. And here's Guardiola now. Oh, rather, Bernardo Silva. 15 seconds of stoppage time to play. Bernardo Silva reaches the ball. Plays it in towards Erling Haaland, but was beaten to it by Destiny Doggy. Still we play on with Savinio. We've played the 3 minutes. Now we want time for one last attack here. Ball played in. Easy for Vicario. And on the cue, the referee brings the first half to a close. Well, Erling Haaland had 4 gilt-edged opportunities in that first half. And on another day, he'd have took at least 3 of them. But it's James Maddison's night. He scored 2 goals in 10 minutes. That's put Tottenham in real command here. There were 2 up inside 20 minutes. They scored in the 10th minute, scored after 18 minutes as well. James Maddison with a brace here. Manchester City have been very wasteful and have been feeble in defence. Still a long way to go yet. Plenty for the Milk Tray man, Pep Guardiola, to do now. He's clearly got to earn his new contract now at half-time, hasn't he? Half-time here as we hand you back to the studio and to Paul James. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Thank you very much, JB. Yes, well, Manchester City down but not out. 2-0 down to Tottenham Hotspur. Pep Guardiola facing his 5th straight defeat, which will be the most in his entire career. Let's go through some of the earlier Premier League games today, starting with the midday kickoff at 12:30 between Leicester City and Chelsea. And at the King Power Stadium, Jordan Ayew penalty for Leicester City, but goals scored prior to that by Nicholas Jackson on 15 minutes and Fernandes on 75. The Vitality Stadium today, Bournemouth, unfortunate but run out 2-1 losers. Goal scored there by João Pedro after 4 minutes. Karan Matoma on 49 minutes before Brighton were reduced to 10 men when Carlos Baleba got a second yellow card. A late goal by David Brooks on 91 minutes almost rescued Bournemouth a point as well when a shot by Semenyo struck the woodwork in the last second for Bournemouth, but it denied Bournemouth a point. At the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal all over Nottingham Forest with a 3-0 victory. A much changed Arsenal side. Bukayo Saka scored after 15 minutes. Thomas Partey on 52 and Ethan Nwaneri on 86 as the Gunners back on form today at the Emirates Stadium. At Villa Park, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace shared a 2-2 draw. Goal on 4 minutes by Ismail Assar before Devaney scored on 45 minutes. Goal on 77 minutes by Ross Barkley. Prior to that, on 36 minutes by Ollie Watkins, secured a 2-2 draw for the Villains. Everton and Brentford shared a 0-0 draw at Goodison Park. Brentford were reduced to 10 men when Norgard was sent off on 41 minutes, but the Toffees were not able to take advantage of that. Perhaps the biggest shock of the day so far, Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. Wolves picking up their second victory of the season. They went 1-0 down to Alex Iwobi's goal on 20 minutes, but an equaliser on 31 by Mateus Cunha. João Gomez made it 2-1 on 53 minutes. Mateus Cunha again on 87 minutes before Guedes wrapped it up 4-1 in stoppage time. So those are your Premier League scores. From La Liga, it's Valencia 4, Real Betis 2, Atletico Madrid 2, Deportivo Alaves 1. It's half-time in Las Palmas, 0-0 with Mallorca. Girona currently 4-0 up against Espanyol at half-time in that one. Later this evening at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time, Celta Vigo host the mighty Barcelona. In Serie A, earlier on today, Hellas Verona 0, Internazionale 5. On 58 minutes at the San Siro, it's Milan 0, Juventus 0. And later this evening at 7:45 UK, 8:45 Central European time, Parma take on Atalanta. German Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen 5, Heidenheim 2. Heidenheim were in fact 2 goals up in that game. VfB Stuttgart 2, Bochum 0. Borussia Dortmund put 4 past 10-man Freiburg. And also Hoffenheim 4, RB Leipzig 3, Wolfsburg 1, Union Berlin 0. It's half-time in Frankfurt as Eintracht Frankfurt just edging out Werder Bremen by a goal to 0. In Ligue 1 in France, Lens 1, Olympique Marseille 3, that's full-time. Saint Etienne 0, Montpellier 0. There's only 24 minutes gone in that game. Later tonight at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European, it's Reims hosting Olympique Lyonnais. And so half-time here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City chasing the tail right now. 2 goals down to Tottenham Hotspur. 2 goals by James Maddison on 13 and 20 minutes. It's a difference here. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back for the second half. Welcome back for the start of the second half. Just before we do go to JB to take over for the second half, a couple of quick questions, JB. If Vicario does not come out for the second half, how does that dent Spurs' hopes?
Well, I can answer that now. He's back for the second half. We're actually underway, but yeah, he's back out. So it doesn't affect them at all as regards that. All they've got to do is just play like they've done in the first half, really, Paul.
All right, well then, if the game's about underway, I will let you take over, JB, and thank you once again.
Thank you very much, and we're back underway. There has been a substitution at half-time for Manchester City, I believe, but Nathan Ake has come on, and so there we go. But this is going to be an interesting... Yeah, he's replaced John Stones. That's the only change at the break. So, just to be clear, remember, 2 goals from James Maddison are the difference between the two sides. 13 minutes and 20 minutes the goals were timed at. But as me and Paul have been saying during tonight's show, you can never write Manchester City off, even in the middle of Storm Bert. Rain coming down in steroids now. Steroids. As Ake now gets his first touch, gets it back to Edison, who didn't have a hope with both goals. They were so well executed by James Maddison. It was just unbelievable. But it's been really a testament to Spurs. If they just do, as I was saying to Paul as he handed over back to me, if they just do the same things as they've been doing in the first half, then Manchester City could be on the verge of losing 500 pounds. And it's never ever happened to Pep Guardiola as a manager at any of the clubs he's managed, neither at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, or here at Manchester City. So we're on the verge of a bit of history here on the TC Hub this evening. And of course, we're going to play the match to sort out later on. Sponsored, of course, for the season, for the 4th season in a row, by the way, this award. Sponsored by Barry Swain's Commentary Services. Always nice for him to render his support to our player in the match. Season upon season here on TC Hub. Spurs get a free kick. Fouled by Maddison. Foul on Maddison by Gundogan. Free kick midway inside the half. Gundogan naturally protests this. He goes through the back of him, takes Maddison before he takes the ball. Even a little clip. And it's a free kick. Done a good match, James Maddison. 5 goals this season for him, 2 tonight. On 3 before the start of play. He's got 5 now. Both going inside the first 20 minutes here. After what was a good first 10 minutes of Manchester City. Typical Manchester City play. They like to entertain City, but now they know they're in a game here. But Guardiola says he likes a challenge. Well, he's got one now. I don't think there's any question about that as we play now 4 minutes of the second half. Still 2-0 to Tottenham. It says he have come back from the dead, ironically, against Tottenham Hotspur. City trailing. Well, 19th of January 2023 is the last time you'd see them 2-0 down, and they were trailing against the same opposition, Tottenham Hotspur. They scored 4 without replying the second half. 19th of January last year. Some 18 months or so ago. Or 20 months or so ago. But at the moment, this Spurs side don't know when they're going to be breached here. And here's Pedro Porro with a decent cross. And he might reach Son on the far side. It will. Have to keep it in by the byline though, but he's got Kyle Walker for company. Uses Destiny and Doggy. In turn loses Maddison. Now Basuma. We picked up that booking in the first 30 seconds. Sort of been largely forgotten about because we've had so many twists and turns since then. One of them's been that Spurs have gone 2 goals in the clear. Vicario has had that 15 minutes worth of treatment. Once again, James Maddison poleaxed on the far side. I think John Brooks, apart from that first 30 seconds, has managed the match very sensibly, has allowed the game to flow at every conceivable opportunity. And if there has been a bad challenge there like that one there by Nkanji, he's been very quick to come out with a whistle and penalise him. And the last game, one of the last games against North London opposition, he was kicking the... oh, well, that's a good free kick, clever, but couldn't find Dominic Solanke. If Spurs were to hang on and win by a couple of goals, even 2-1 if there was to get any sort of win, just think of what a boost that would be for their season. They beat Aston Villa very convincingly 4-1 the other week. And Papi Sarr tried to stop the free kick being taken there. Rico Lewis has got on with it. He uses Nathan Ake. In turn uses Guardiola. This is uncharted waters for Manchester City normally. And I think Ange Postecoglou would have thought, do I shut up shop or do I go for a third? He'll have thought about that long and hard, but he hasn't made any changes, so it's the same, I think, second half. And it's Kulusevski on the break. Solanke bursts to the guts. Solis bursts to the guts. Solanke might reach this. The angle is tied on him. The ball pulled back, and it's free now. Pedro Porro finds the right-hand corner, the left-hand corner of the net. It was a brilliant counter-attack from Tottenham Hotspur. And with 52 minutes on the clock, it's Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. And who thought about an hour ago when we started this broadcast, we'd be saying that tonight. Porro makes it 3, and dare I say it, as Manchester City's title bid got up in smoke with this. They've always had a bit of joy at Manchester City down the years. Remember in 2010 when they had that shootout for 4th place and Peter Crouch scored. This is going to be as memorable as that as well. Son starts to move, then Kulusevski's running's been boundless all night, it has to be said. Ball was just a bit overhit, but when Solanke saw Porro was there, right-footed in the left corner. And Manchester City are being pulled apart by a ruthless Tottenham. Look at that. Well, who would have thought that at the start? 3-0. And surely, barring accidents, it's got to be game 7 match Tottenham Hotspur. And Manchester City have got powers of recovery from 2-0 down, there's no doubt about it. From 3-0, I can't see it somehow. They could get a couple of goals back and make it a bit more of a game if they decide to, but to come back from 3-0 down and win a game of football with 53 minutes on the clock, with only 35 minutes on the clock, it would be the most extraordinary game in Premier League history, with the most extraordinary moments in Premier League history. But Spurs have done the basics right, and that's what's happened. Manchester City have been all over the place at the back, and it's been the main difference. Yellow card coming out, shown, I think, in the direction of Rico Lewis. Frustration certainly boiling over, certainly for one or two of the younger Manchester City lads. That's stupid. I mean, that's stupid. It's a bookable offence. There's no doubt about that from Rico Lewis. But then again, it's petulant. But he's a youngster. He's a young lad, and you can actually forgive him a little bit for that. It's not often we see Pep Guardiola in a home match 3 goals down. And it is looking as if Ange Postecoglou has pulled off the tactical masterclass of the century here. Because nobody, not even me, coming into this ground, thought Pep Guardiola was going to lose 5 matches, competitive matches in a row. Well, they're just about to at the moment. But Manchester City need 4 goals in 35 minutes to stop that. Well, they need 3 in 35 minutes to even get a draw, but a draw wouldn't be enough. Really, to save Guardiola's skin, he's just signed a new 2-year deal, and at the moment, any optimism that Manchester City had at the start has been blown away by a ruthless counter-attacking Tottenham team. Guardiola, team being beaten not just by Tottenham but by Storm Burt by the looks of it. They're not enjoying it tonight, that's for sure. But Tottenham are loving it in the rain here. And there goes Solanke, trying to give Akanji the slip, but in the end, Manchester City win possession and they come forward now. So 2 goals, 3 goals down. Here's Guardiola. Needs a decent cross into the penalty area. Turned away brilliantly. Here's Guardiola again. There's certainly been elements of the Manchester City defensive play that has just been not good enough tonight. That's something that Pep Guardiola will have to address. Right now, it's all about trying to save a bit of face, maybe get a bit of respectability on the scoreline as far as Manchester City are concerned. 3-0 down. To come back from 2 goals down is not so bad when you've got 3 goals to try and find. 4 to win a game, and you've only got less than, 35 minutes to play. Then it becomes more of an obstacle. And you haven't got the industrious Rodri in your team. It does become too much of a handicap, one must say. But certainly, as far as Manchester City are concerned, they might as well go for it now. They may as well try and go for it, even though they could only lose 4 or 5 here. Understandably, they'll have to throw men forward here at this point, just to keep you abreast of all the other stuff going on in the world of sport. Of course, the darts reconvene later on tonight. We'll try and keep you across a couple of the games. Wales have pulled 5 points back. It's Wales 12, South Africa 26. That's at half time in that one. And Hibernian, who led through Nicky Cannon, are now 3-1 down. I'll give you the goal scorers in a second or two. As City come charging forward, looking to get one back. Kyle Walker on the right-hand side. They need something now. Manchester City. They've got De Bruyne on the bench. They've got Jack Grealish on the bench. Here's Guardiola now, left-hand side, turned in, and Aki couldn't finish the job off. Nathan Aki, who scored in the FA Cup tie between the two sides at the Tottenham Stadium last season, rather. Nearly on the mark again. Here's Rico Lewis from the short corner. Headed out. Ali Suarez folded deep inside Tottenham territory. Ball pumped in again. Headed away by Porro, who got Spurs as third. Maddison does well. Basuma loses it, and now Haaland with a chance. And the chance is that, he's hit the crossbar. Shot to the right-hand angle of the penalty area. Hit it with his left foot. And unfortunately, has hit the top of the bar. And has gone flying over the top. And that was one of the more difficult chances that Erling Haaland has had up till this point tonight. Not Manchester City's night by any stretch of the imagination, as we come up to 15 minutes played in the second half. An hour played. There we are, an hour played. And who would have thought, with an hour played, that Tottenham Hotspur would be 3 goals up and in the clear? Any of you didn't expect that, did you? There we go. Here's Bernardo Silva inside the area. Surely this time Guardiola deflected behind. Or deflected out of play for a throw-in. Level with the 6-yard box of Tottenham to Manchester City. Here's Lewis. Well, it's been that sort of night, hasn't it? Oh. Ball out for a throw. Oh, this is the Ireland chance again, or is this the other Ireland chance? This is Guardiola. Oh, good defending. Excellent defending by Porro. Did really well. It's been that sort of night, really, where it's just been... where everything City's hit, it's not come off. And that's been the theme of the whole match this evening. It's just been everything else. Media, we have plenty of comments. They just don't show up now. I'll try and read a few now whilst we've got a break in play. Brennan Johnson of ex-Nottingham Forest is about to come on. Media, radio, jingles and gaming. What a big upset for City. I don't think anyone was suspiciously after Guardiola's contract being extended for 2 years. Sure, it's an historic night on the TC Hub tonight, JB. Well, it certainly is, that's for sure. Not a night for the blow-off from Manchester, and it's at the Etihad Stadium. Well, you can join the chat too. Keep your comments clean. Still a fabulous show. 62 minutes gone. 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Son Heung-min, I think wisely at this stage, is going to be withdrawn. No goal, but he's been really good tonight. I've really, again, in the big games, he shows up, Son Heung-min. Don't think there's any doubt at all. The South Korean has had a marvellous hand. He'll hand the captain's armband to James Maddison. And Brennan Johnson comes on. I didn't even have a chance to run through the substitutes. It's been that sort of night where everything's going, where everything's just gone wham bam, thank you man, and all that sort of stuff. It's as I say, it's been that sort of night. So Brennan Johnson, who has who was the top scorer with 4 going into tonight, has been dwarfed by James Maddison, who's now actually become the outright top scorer for Tottenham. Plus 1 to 5 this season. And here is the captain, the new captain of Tottenham. Looks forward again. Johnson into the action, along with Solanke. Here's Rico Lewis winning possession. Finds Ilkay Gundogan now. Here's a chance now for Kyle Walker to get forward. City need to ask a few questions here. Savinho back to Gundogan, deep inside Tottenham territory. Aki to Guardiola. And here come Manchester City again. Ball into the area. It's Guardiola again. Tries to take it on the volley. And in the end, smashes it over the top of the bar. You wonder why I'm switching the mic off and on every 4 or 5 seconds, every so often. I've still got the after effects of a cold coming out. And I don't want you to hear me coughing on air. So I'll be switching the microphone off for 2 or 3 seconds. If I need to cough, I'll be switching the mic off for 2 or 3 seconds, but so don't think we've had any loss of sound. It's not a sound issue. I just don't want you guys to hear me coughing. Here's Gundogan now in possession. 3-0. And it's been a cold, wet night with Stormbert. Of course, Liverpool still to play Southampton tomorrow, and if they get 3 points, the gap then between them and Manchester City will be at 8 points. So Arnie Slott's side tomorrow afternoon. I've got the perfect riposte to try and get another 3 points against Southampton. Manchester United will look to kick-start their season, a new era at Ipswich Town tomorrow. And here goes Solanke. He's got Kulusevski on the right-hand side. Kulusevski now, City trying to get numbers back. It's Kulusevski into the penalty area, beaten out by the goalkeeper. Left-footed shot. It was nearly 4-0. And, well, I tell you what, it would have capped off a humiliation even with 65 and a half minutes played. It's would have capped off a miserable night here for Manchester City. Nathan Ake, midway inside the Tottenham half. City attacking the goal to my left, remember. Spurs to the right, but their supporters are cock-a-hoop behind that goal over on the far side. They have been bad in front of the goal. That's the thing. Here's another chance for Haaland, but he was beaten to the punch again by a very resolute Tottenham defence. Here's Lewis, edge of the area, shoots it over the top again. Right-footed that effort that time from young Rico Lewis, number 82. But this is an opportunity for number 4. This was the break. Kanji had a fistful of shirt as well, but the referee allowed it to go on. It was a good advantage play by Mr. Brooks, the referee. And he had Brennan Johnson in the middle. And I think if Kulusevski would have had his time again, if he got his head up there, Brennan Johnson was unmarked on the left far side. As it happened, it didn't come off, and it's still 3-0 to Tottenham. With 67 minutes now played at the Etihad Stadium. 3-0. 23 minutes to play. Plus additional time, of course. And goodness knows what we might have there. You're anything from 7 to 10 minutes these days, the fourth officials in today's game. Free kick against Saminio, and a free kick to Tottenham. Well, Rodri looking on the new Ballon d'Or winner, and with where we're at, Rodri, they played 78 times, 60 wins. On 27 games they played without Rodri, they've lost 7. They've only won. They've lost 17. And I can see why everyone places a lot on Rodri. He is a player that is an undoubted talent. I'm not sure whether he would have won the Ballon d'Or or not. There were so many more worthier winners. I think Jude Bellingham should have won it personally. Maybe I'm just English biased, I don't know. But anyway, it's a player that City rely on more than most. And without him, they've been better by years. But this time, Haaland with a header from 6 yards. It's just not going to be City's day. Halfway through the second half, 68 and a half minutes gone. Still Tottenham nil. Manchester City nil, rather. Tottenham Hotspur 3. And it looks as if, barring accident, Spurs are going to claim their second victory in all competitions against Manchester City within the space of 3 weeks. They beat them 2-1 in the Carabao, and now in the Premier League they're going to be winning this game quite comfortably by 3-0 at the moment. City still relentlessly attacking as we now go deep into this second half. There's no way in the world they're going to score 4 in 20 odd minutes. It's just not a racing certainty. This is showing why City are really missing Rodri and why they rely on him so much. Indeed. Unfortunately, it's been that sort of night, really, where it has been that. And then next weekend, what a game that's going to be. And Liverpool will be licking their lips because Manchester City will have to go to Anfield on September the 1st, which is next weekend, for a real big game. And if Liverpool win that one, well, assuming they beat Southampton tomorrow and they win the game, it would be, I think, 11 points, the gap then between the two teams if City were to lose that one next week. But of course, we're speculating whether Liverpool will beat Southampton. Southampton tomorrow will have something to say about that. There's no doubt about that. But the way Liverpool are at the moment, they are very ruthless. And you would expect Liverpool to beat Southampton, even at St Mary's. I don't think there's a doubt about it. The football is a very crazy, fickle world. And you never know what might be just around the corner. Meanwhile, Kanji runs into traffic. Foden is there. Aki's there too. And here's Kyle Walker. They're asking questions, City. Here's Bernardo Silva. He's got over to the right-hand side for this second half. He's won his team a corner off Brennan Johnson. Another corner then, with 71 minutes played. Can City make a fight of it for the final 20 minutes or so? They need one to go in, that's for sure. Haaland has missed a double hat-trick of chances today. Foden's corner was a poor one. And easily put out of the air by Gamiro Vicario. And the ball to the ever-running Kulusevski. They couldn't reach that one. Well, I wonder, and there will be a thought, really, should De Bruyne have gone on at half-time? I think there will be debates. If City do go on to lose this game and lose it by 3, maybe 4-0, depending on how Tottenham go about their business in the remaining 20 minutes or so. Obviously, the clean sheet could be back tonight, but City may well still have a part to play in this game. We'll try and soon find out next 20 minutes. Phil Foden, midway inside the Spurs area, gets to the edge of the area, team shot off, and well held by Vicario, diving just a shade to his left. And it was a really, really poor shot. It didn't have any speed rolling along the ground. And it was an easy save there for Vicario. And the ball looked long. Well defended. And here come Manchester City. Looking to pull a goal back here. They need one. They need one just to give themselves an outside chance. It's still a sporting chance. They're going to win this game. And I'm being kind to Manchester City. De Bruyne is going to come on. Jack Grealish is going to come on. Now, why didn't these two at half-time come on? There will be questions asked. I don't think there's any question about that. Certainly, there will be questions asked by me. But the current FIFA Club World Champions have been feeble tonight. First 10 minutes, they were exceptional. After that, they've been wasteful. They've been absolutely shameful in defence. Savinho and Lewis off. De Bruyne and Grealish both on. I think it's even more than them for Manchester City to score 4. We're coming up to a quarter of an hour left. Gundogan has possession, finds Nathan Ake. Well, I think you would have got long odds on the top of the keeping a clean sheet tonight. For a moment, they're beating those odds. Here's Bernardo Silva to De Bruyne, who got his first 2 touches. Oh, lovely play from Bernardo Silva. Silky football, but in the end, the cross just stabbed it with a toe poke. And in the end, Porro got there ahead of Erling Haaland, who's still stuck at 12 goals for the season. Here come Manchester City. Oh, that's a poor cross. That certainly wasn't silky football. And Tottenham get a goal kick. Tottenham have just been completely and utterly ruthless tonight. You can't argue with that. But at the end of the day, it's It's fantastic. Just to remind you of the schedule of play, the darts. Luke Littler and Danny Noppard and Damon Hetta and Luke Humphries are the final 2 games on the main stage. Doug Gurney and Connor Scott are the first game. Jamie Watamina and Dirk van Julenboord. But some very big names left in that tournament. Not many big names left in that tournament as Vicario takes another cross and bowls it out to Kulusevski. So that's all to come later on. We'll have to watch that on TV, of course, in the UK. Still Dundee 3 and Benny Rom. The goal scorers for Dundee, McGee after 26. An own goal from Tryon Tannis after 31. And Palmer Holden in the 2nd minute of time added on at the end of the first half. Here comes De Bruyne from Manchester City. That'll be to sending off, really, has changed the dynamics of that particular match. And of course, Aberdeen lost. The unbeaten record is gone. Here comes Gundogan, shoots, and it's a good save at the near post by Vicario. The Italian goalkeeper has distinguished himself. He's certainly in my reckoning for player of the match in some 15 minutes' time when I have to choose one. Certainly him and James Maddison. Pedro Porro will be in my thinking. Here's De Bruyne with another corner. That's still trying Manchester City to their credit. But I'm just fearing that the damage has already been done. De Bruyne has stayed on side. Can he get another cross in from the far side? He can. Too far for Haaland. Might drop for Grealish. It will drop for Foden, who shoots left-footed, and it's charged away. And Akanji has fouled Brennan Johnson, and it will be a 3 kick for Tottenham. And a word for you about John Brooks. He's refereed it with common sense and stability. And I tell you what, if the PGMOL have been in the news for the wrong reasons in the last couple of weeks over a certain referee, then I have to say John Brooks has done more good for the referee fraternity in 90 minutes tonight than anything else. He is going to show a yellow card, and quite rightly so, to Bernardo Silva. Silly, petulance. He's a very good player, Bernardo Silva, but his petulance is very overzealous. It's a definite bookable offence. And I have to say John Brooks has had a smash. Whatever happens now, I have to say John Brooks has had a smashing match. And may have just won the PGMOL its dignity back after a rough couple of weeks. It's been. This was a big game for certainly for John Brooks, PGMOL, and John Brooks has not let anyone down so far tonight, and good on him. 3-0 it is to Tottenham Hotspur with 78 minutes gone, 12 to play plus any injury and stoppage time, and maybe a big chunk of that. Well, we'll see what Craig Pawson makes of all that come the 90th minute. But you can't dispute the way Tottenham have been ruthless tonight. Yes, City are going to have a lot of possession. Yes, City are going to make the bulk of the chances. But defensively, they have been shoddy, ruthless. Well, not ruthless, but toothless and downright feeble. And that ultimately has cost them. Here's De Bruyne. Oh, then Haaland's in now for chance here for City, but again Vicario denies him, and again great defence there. Foul there by De Bruyne. Free kick to Tottenham, but Vicario again. This is absolutely, and now there's all sorts. It's kicking off here. City's tempers are fraying. City's tempers are fraying. Ndogi involved, Basuma involved, Akanji, De Bruyne, who will surely get a booking for his part for fouling the player in the first place. He's calling Maddison and De Bruyne, by the looks of it, to him here, the referee. He's got a flashpoint to sort out here, John Brooks. But he's got to book De Bruyne because the challenge was poor. Well, let's just, whilst that's going on, De Bruyne gets a yellow card. Now, who else is going to get a booking before we carry on? John Brooks is calling another player over. Basuma has to watch his step because he's also on a yellow. Now, where was that yellow card? swung in the direction of Papi Sarr. Well, let's just appreciate the save again from Vicario. He's had a super night. That's a good save with the right hand. Then Sarr is fouled. De Bruyne is in there. Now, what happens here? Sarr takes exception to De Bruyne trying to pick him up. Foden gets involved. Akanji gets involved. There's so many players getting involved there. Too many to count, but I thought at some point there would be tempers getting frayed, but let's just forget about all the shenanigans and the fouling that went on there. Let's appreciate Vicario's save. That was just unbelievable. Spurs 3 up, says Trevor Swartz. Is it 2008 again? Well, at the moment, it looks that way. So De Bruyne, in amongst all that, picks up his second of the season. That's been confirmed. As Maddison tangles for the ball just shy of the centre circle. Papi Sarr also picks up his second booking of the season. Right, 81 gone. Still 3-0 to Tottenham. After all that, here's Solanke on halfway. And here's Maddison, who's surely going to be the reckoning for our player of the match. And Vicario too. Vicario's had a marvellous match. I mean, let's face it, City have created a lot of chances to have scored. Certainly Henry Ireland has had a double hat-trick of chances tonight, but Vicario has been so keyed up for this. It's unbelievable. It's been an extraordinary night in the title race, and history could be about to be made here live on the TCM with me, because it'll be the first time in Pep Guardiola's managerial history that he's lost 5 competitive matches in League, Champions League and Carabao Cup. That he's lost 5 on the spin. Never happened before. It's going to happen tonight unless City score 4 in 8 minutes. Guardiola, the way Vicario's performing, I think that's a slim possibility. Never say never though in this game. Football's a crazy game. Sport is crazy. You never know. Here's Bernardo Silva, far side. Cross needs to be good. It's not. Papi Sarr wins that one and wins the second ball too. But Guardiola's got it. Here's Jack Grealish. Oh, well challenged again. Sarr again. Tottenham have been brilliant. Tottenham have been brilliant in every facet of the game. Yes, they're going to have less possession. But here's Bowden. City still chasing it at 3-0 down. And here's Akanji, tried his luck, deflected behind. It will be a corner to Manchester City on the far side. Bernardo Silva gets the ball off the tee very quickly and gets on with it now. Goes short to De Bruyne. De Bruyne cuts inside, makes space for the shot, but Spurs have got 7 of 8, 9 back and we're prepared to charge it down. Here's Grealish, left-hand side. Near side as we look. Digs a lovely ball in there beyond Haaland. And Bernardo Silva volleys it goalwards, but he volleys it over the top. And it's not Manchester City's line, is it? But credit to Manchester City there. They've given it a good go in this second half. It was always going to be a tough ask to come back from 2-0 down. To come from 3-0 down was asking too much. The Spurs fans are enjoying themselves. They travel a long way up. Definitely when you've got Storm Bear and all that lot to cope with as well, travelling up from London. But so their journey has been more than worth it. John Brooks isn't happy that the ball was not stationary as the free kick was being taken. I can understand City's frustrations. There's empty seats around me now at the Etihad Stadium. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. Offside, showing against Guardiola. Play on it is, and over the top anyway. And it's those sort of chances that Manchester City have not been able to take. Grealish should get involved. Yeah, I think if it had gone to VAR, there's no doubt at all the goal would not have stood. But he didn't go in, and there's no need for VAR to get involved. And VAR haven't got involved too much tonight. In a quiet game for Michael Salisbury up until now. So 4-0, or 3-0 rather. it's hard. I mean, we're looking at the shock of the season here. Nobody expected Pep Guardiola to lose 5 in a row. That is happening now. Take it from me, it is happening. 5 minutes to play. City are 3 goals down and need the mother of all miracles. Here's Haaland. The ball had beaten Grealish out of play before he could cross it back towards Erling Haaland. Grealish obviously, understandably, disputes the decision, but well, I'm gonna choose a player of the match now because I'm quietly confident that Tottenham are going to win the game. And there are 2 outstanding candidates for this. It's a shame I can't give a joint one, really, because the rule is you've got to give 1 outstanding. But I'm gonna say James Maddison. A special mention to James Maddison with 2 goals. He's been fantastic. But I'm going to give the player of the match to the Tottenham goalkeeper, Vicario, because he's made a series of 6, maybe 7, 5, 6, 7 top quality saves. 4 of them coming in the second half alone that have won Tottenham this football match. It's not just about the 3 goals they've scored on the break. The goalkeepers, I think the goalkeepers don't get enough credit. And my heart said James Maddison, obviously, but my head, and I think the right decision is Guillermo Vicario, just because he's pulled off several world-class saves tonight, and it's going to probably get Tottenham a great victory against all the odds and a possible clean sheet. There are 3 minutes to go of normal time, and I think if it Vicario, and also the goalkeeper also lays the foundations for a good team performance. Jalen Johnson is miles offside here. He puts the ball against the post. Well, I thought he was offside. It's play on. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The TCM is about to witness history here. Football history. Not just Premier League, but world football history. And I can't emphasise this fact enough. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. Now then, can they get one back, City? And in their eyes, add a little bit of respectability in what's been an absolutely feeble night for them. Feeble being the operative word here. Spurs are going to make a couple of changes. They're going to bring one of their youngsters on. Timo Werner, who has yet to score this season, is coming on for James Maddison, who's just been picked to the post, and he gives it to the player of the match, Vicario. Interesting to see what the TV boys go for. I bet they go for James Maddison. Well, that's his first goal. It's a good volley. It's a controlled left-footed volley. That was a superb goal. The second one, I actually think this is a better goal than the first one because he's still got a lot of work to do. And then he's got to think it over Edison. Outstanding goals. Getting a marvellous reception from the Tottenham Hotspur faithful here as he walks off the pitch. Meanwhile, just to keep you informed, 38 points to 5. Wales on the verge of a 12th loss. Meanwhile, on table 1 at the UK Championships, Dean Junior and Robert Milkins are in action. On table 2, it's Zhao Gondon 0, David Gilbert 0. Sean Murphy's also through. He won 6-5 on table 2 against Zhao Xingtong. And the big result today, Barry Hawkins. That's Bergwall, Werner and Jed Spence all on now. But yeah, Barry Hawkins has knocked out the 8 times UK champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. The Rocket is out. Wait to come later on in the darts. You want to watch that, you can watch it on TV. We're to the final minute of normal time now. And we all eyes on Craig Pawson, our fourth official, to see how long it's going to be. We're now into that stoppage time. Just the 4 minutes. If Manchester City score 4 in that time, my word, it'd be history of a different kind. Here's Jack Grealish. And Kevin De Bruyne gets it out the far side now. At least they're still going, City. They're still plugging away. De Bruyne's cross. Down at Haaland. Oh, good defending. Excellent defending there by Dragusin. Just getting it over his own crossbar. Difficult ball to defend in those circumstances. And the corner's taken short by Bernardo Silva. And then him and De Bruyne absolutely mixed up. De Bruyne's overhit the pass. And that just sums up Manchester City's night in a total and utterly nutshell. But what a good piece of defending there by Dragusin. De Bruyne's cross. It was onside going to Erling Haaland here. But he didn't read the script. Spurs defender. 1 minute of the free played. Our player of the match, Vicario, with a kick forward. Looking towards Solanke, who gets the ball a second time. Now number 15 comes forward. And it's Dragovic. Yellow card, foul on him. And Akanji is the latest one into John Brooks' notepad. That's also his second booking for the Swiss international. And now it's just a question of top the play, keep ball out for the remaining 2 minutes or so that remain. There's no doubt at all now. I'm going to say Pep Guardiola will lose 5 on the spin. Lost one of those defeats, 4 previous defeats, was in the League Cup, incidentally, at Tottenham. They also lost at Brighton. And they also lost to Sporting Club Portugal as well. But this is a real signal now. It could be even worse. Bernard's across. And here comes Brennan Johnson to tap in goal number 4. It's a 4-star performance from Tottenham Hotspur. They deserved it. The cross was an absolute pearler from the substitute. And the ball tapped in from 3 yards out. And Manchester City's undoubted utter feeble misery is now complete. There will be teacups flying around that Etihad dressing room after the game. Not so in the Spurs dressing room. And their supporters are absolutely lapping it up. 4-0. And we've still got a minute of stoppage time to play. Brennan Johnson has now become the joint top scorer with 5 goals alongside James Maddison. And it all started when Grealish stupidly gave the ball away. And from there on in, it was almost a lovely run by Vagwell, by Timo Werner actually. Werner crossing it across. Oh, that's a lovely ball. And Werner, who's a great goal scorer, lay one on for Brennan Johnson, and look at the delight of Ange Postecoglou. Well, he doesn't show much delight, does he? That's it. Right hand in the air, fist raised. That's all you need. Pep Guardiola, the milk tray man, has been made to look a right muppet tonight. It is the greatest we've seen world football history here being made in northwest England tonight, with Storm Burt raising havoc. But Spurs have had a ball in a storm tonight. They've put a big storm on Manchester City, and here's the unrelenting Kulusevski, who's been non-stop running all night. On another day, he would have been a shoo-in for player of the match. There goes the final whistle. It's 5 losses in a row for Pep Guardiola, and that's the first time in his career, in his managerial career, that has happened. 2 goals for James Maddison. Another for Pedro Porro. And then right at the end, the last knock-ins, Brennan Johnson from a low cross from the left-hand side from Timo Werner, has completed a miserable night for military man Pep Guardiola, and his Manchester City starts. And that has made it a sweeter night for the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal, who won today, by the way. It's over to Liverpool tomorrow. If they beat Southampton, then the gap between them and Manchester City will be at 8 points, and then Liverpool and Manchester City a week tomorrow meet at Anfield. And if Liverpool were to win that game, the gap would be in double figures. Are we seeing a change of guard in terms of the Championship this season? On this showing, I don't think Manchester City are going to defend their Premier League title for a 5th time. No way. Well, let's give credit to Tottenham. Their team performance was phenomenal. From 1 to 11, Vicario was the main hero, and Madison was a main hero as well. But there were 11 heroes out there for Tottenham, and you could have chosen a player of the match for any one of them tonight, including Son Heung-min. It was just a phenomenal achievement. They're going over to their fans now. The Manchester City fans leaving disgraced and humiliated. It's not been a loss. It's not been an annihilation by any means. It's been a humiliation. Paul James, I never thought at the top of the show I'd be saying this at the end of the game, but I'm going to tell you the final score now. Tottenham Hotspur, what a night for them. As I hand you back to Paul James. Paul, listen to this. I never thought I'd be saying this. The final score at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 4.
Well, yes, Manchester City thoroughly manhandled tonight. And yes, indeed, history has been made, not just once, but twice. You might be interested in knowing that Pep Guardiola has never suffered such a heavy defeat in his entire career. So it's not just 5 defeats for the first time he's suffering tonight. It is also his heaviest defeat as a manager. That's how good of a manager Pep Guardiola is. He won't be thinking about that tonight. He'll be thinking about getting those players back in training on Monday morning and getting them ready for the next game. But really, this is Tottenham Hotspur's night. An absolutely stunning performance. What a response to the defeat to Ipswich Town before the international break. And if I might add, JB, would you have even predicted this in your wildest dreams at the start of the game?
I'll be honest with you, Paul. I couldn't have predicted anything. I mean, you're at the Etihad Stadium. City don't lose that often. And you're thinking, OK, Tottenham have a sporting chance. They might have got odds of about 12-1 before the start in a 2-horse race. But Manchester City, I mean, it's the first 10 minutes has been forgotten about because after the 10 minutes, Tottenham took over, didn't they? But the first 10 minutes, City were playing like they usually do, playing good attacking football. They were missing chances, though. But Vicario made 2 good saves at 0-0, and that set the tone for Tottenham. And I think that was the basis. That's why I gave Vicario the man of the match rather than James Maddison, because you said, when you're a goalkeeper, you've laid the foundations for the rest of the team then to gain confidence, and that's what happened tonight. Manchester City were obviously going to have about 60% possession, weren't they? But at the end of the day, Ange Postecoglou is a tactical genius. Then Tottenham played like a team that started the night, 11th. I mean, look at the last 5 results. Tottenham away 2-1, Bournemouth away 2-1. Sporting lost 4-1. Brighton lost 2-1. And now tonight they've lost 4-1. They've conceded something like 17, 18 goals in that sequence, Manchester City. And now in a normal league season, they don't lose that in an entire league season. There's something must be up. I mean, a lot of people will point to Rodri not being there, but you can't start using Rodri as an excuse, surely.
No, I mean, it's more than that, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen City so bad in front of goal during Pep Guardiola's entire time there. The chances that were missed were unforgivable in terms of the quality that's on the pitch. With this now, where do you think Pep Guardiola goes from here?
Well, he's got a 2-year contract. I mean, you pointed that out earlier, but I mean, obviously they're going to have to stick with Pep Guardiola. I don't think there's anybody else that could lift that Manchester City team at the moment. I can't think of any other manager that could do it. The thing is, though, they will have to strengthen in January. They'll have to find a replacement. Certainly midfield, I feel, because I just felt, even though they had possession and they made it, let's face it, they made a lot of chances. But Erling Haaland, he's got 12 goals this season. He should have had at least 16 by the end of tonight. He missed a hatful of chances. But here's a little stat you may not have known or you may have picked up on. San Marino, this month alone, have won more games than Manchester City. What does that tell you?
Well, I was just looking at the the goals against in the last 5 games. On average, that's 2.80 goals against.
That's alarming. That's absolutely alarming, isn't it?
It's relegation form, isn't it? It's relegation form.
Not that Manchester City are going to get relegated anytime soon. I mean, they've got enough points in the bank, and I think they'll still. I think they're showing. Let's face it. If they're not going to win the league, they're definitely going to qualify for Champions League. I think we can both agree on that. But the interesting aspect is if Liverpool beat Southampton, and we're assuming they're going to beat Southampton. Southampton will have something to say about that tomorrow afternoon. But if they were to beat Southampton, Liverpool, the gap would be 8 points between the two clubs. Then a week tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll be penciled in to commentate on this one, Paul, but it will be the showdown at Anfield between the two clubs, Liverpool and Manchester City. And if Liverpool were to win that, think of the points gap here. 11 points. We're talking double figures. And this is like 2019-20 written all over it. You know, I remember at Christmas, I think Manchester City went to Wolves. I commentated on that game for JB Sports that night. And they started 13 points behind. They were 2-0 up and then lost 3-2. When City lost the league to Liverpool that season, it wasn't COVID that destroyed their chances. It was that match at Christmas time in 2019 that destroyed any chance they had of winning the league that season. And I think we've seen another watershed moment here tonight.
Well, I certainly agree with you. I mean, that really was Spurs are all over Manchester City this evening. Thanks very much, JB.
Thank you, Paul.
You take a bow. That was a fantastic commentary once again.
Yeah, I've been suffering from a cold all night. That's why I've been switching the mic off and on during the second half, so then no one got the sense. But yeah, it's been a delight, and it's been a delight to work with you again, Paul.
Always a pleasure, JB.
And I'm going to go home now and watch Luke Littler in the darts because I can't get enough excitement at the moment.
All right, you'll be hearing from JB again real soon. Tomorrow, we have one more game for you from Portman Road, Ipswich and Manchester United. I will be in the commentator's chair for that one. Just going to run you through some classifiers before we wrap up at the end of the day. Starting with the Premier League, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2, Everton 0, Brentford 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 4. As you've just heard, Manchester City 0, Tottenham 4. In the Championship, there was 3 early games today in the Championship today. Bristol City 0, Burnley 1, Coventry City 2, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 1. Blackburn Rovers and Portsmouth was postponed. Luton Town 1, Hull City 0. Millwall 1, Sunderland 1. Oxford United 2, Middlesbrough 6. Preston North End 1, Derby County 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Stoke City 1. West Bromwich Albion 2, Norwich City 2. In League 1 today, Bolton Wanderers 2, Blackpool 1. Shrewsbury 3, Birmingham City 2. Stevenage Borough 0, Leyton Orient 0. Barnsley 0, Wigan Athletic 1. Burton Albion 0, Stockport County 3. Crawley Town 1, Rotherham United 0. Huddersfield 2, Charlton Athletic 1. Lincoln City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 3. Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Northampton Town 0, Cambridge United 0. Peterborough 1, Reading 2. In League 2 today, Grimsby Town 0, Colchester United 1, Notts County 0, Newport County 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Walsall 1, Bradford City and Accrington Stanley match postponed, Carlisle United 0, Doncaster Rovers 1, Chesterfield 1, Barrow 0, Fleetwood v MK Dons match postponed, Gillingham 1, Harrogate 2. Salford and Bromley also postponed, and Swindon 2, Morecambe 3. So that's the roundup and classifieds of all the games in England today. I want to take the time to thank you all for commenting today. We've had a couple of comments at the end by Media Radio and Jingles. Can't believe I'm hearing the words, the worst team in international football, winning more games this month than the recent Premier League Championship. What a historic month for football. It's either Liverpool or Arsenal's now. Fantastic, terrific, legendary commentary from JB. I quite agree. Best commentary of the night. And thank you all of you for listening, taking time out of your busy day. We really appreciate that. And do join us tomorrow for Ipswich Town versus Manchester City. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. History made tonight. City beat 4-0 at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Bye for now.